we're doing a cheesecake segment.
I'm Julia, and this is Michelle. This is our director that usually takes our videos, but since today we're making cheesecakes, I'm not very educated on how to make them.
And I'm a cheesecake expert.
Yes. So we're going to be starting out with our first part of our segment, which is the crust.
So before you start with the crust, make sure you take your 2 packages of cream cheese and let them get to room temperature on a plate. And make sure you have your springform pans. Today we're making miniature cheesecakes instead of the normal size ones, so that's why we're using these little pans. And also, for cheesecake, you have to make sure that the bottoms can pop out of the container, so that when you're taking them out, they come out properly. So, first you have your unsalted butter, which is melted and slightly cooled. And then you have a cup of graham cracker crust, and you have sugar. So, first you combine the graham cracker crust and the sugar. And then you mix. Would you like to mix? Okay, I'll start mixing. And you want to make sure they're fully mixed before you add in the melted butter. Okay. Is that good enough? I think so. Okay. I'm a little apprentice today. So. And so then you pour in the unsalted butter. Wash my hands really quick. Okay, and you really want to make sure that it's really well melted so that the pieces of graham cracker melt together properly and combine. And how many did we use? We used almost a full pack of graham crackers to put one of the plastic cases, not one of the whole boxes.
Yeah. And we just so we could food process it and get it to where it is. Is that okay? Oh my gosh, yeah. And so when you're done mixing, it should be slightly wet and clumped together so that you can form it. And ours is looking especially wet today, which is actually, the more wet it is, the better it is to form. But, okay, so now you take a little bit and you put it in the bottom of the pan. And I know that you can't see it right now, but I will show you once I'm done. And then you work it in the bottom. And you grab more and you work it up the sides, about 2 inches, depending on the size of your pan. I know for large cheesecakes, they always suggest 2 inches. So that your filling will stay in the little cup. And do you have any hints for our viewers today? Well, I'm not very known about the cheesecakes, but I mean it's always good, I think, to make a little bit extra of the crust, because it's always better just to have an extra amount when you're making this.
Okay, so our first cup, if you can see, it goes all the way up the side of the cup for these little ones because you want to make sure they hold together. And make sure that the bottom is thick enough so that it can hold all your filling. But if you work it too much, it'll be rough and it could crack. So, and now you just have to fill all the cups. So we're back and we formed all the crusts. And while you were forming the crust, or beforehand, you should have set your oven to 375 degrees. And then what you do is you put this in there for about 9 to 12 minutes until it's slightly dark and or fragrant. And so Julia will talk about things. Okay, so when you are done with the crust, and while you're waiting, you can set up the other ingredients that you need to have for the inside part. So you're going to want to have your lemon zest, your strawberry puree, your sugar, your vanilla, some flour, and 2 eggs. Just remember that we're going to be trying 3 different cheesecakes. We're going to have the strawberry, the lemon, and the original. So if you want to choose just one, you could cut these out, or if you just want to do strawberry, you don't have to do the lemon. We personally like to mix and match sometimes. Like you can also do strawberry lemon cheesecakes or strawberry plain cheesecakes. You can even make strawberry cheesecakes with chocolate on top. So it's really whatever you want to do with your cheesecake.
I just took these out of the oven, and we actually decided that about 4 minutes would be good for the mini cheesecakes since they're a lot smaller.
And so anytime you're making something smaller, just make sure you also account for the time you put it in the oven.
Okay, so we're going to set these aside and start off with making our inside.